Hey everyone, it is Tanya. Welcome back to the channel and welcome to a very special video. So today I am announcing my most recent shell challenge. I haven't done one of these in a while on the channel, but if you're familiar with shell challenges, you can see how weird this shape is. Essentially what a shell challenge is I give you a box and you turn it into something without moving or deleting the walls that I have here. You're allowed to add a floor plan, balconies, half walls, fences, roofing, whatever you'd like. Just don't get rid of these walls or move them so you can't extend that, for example. So it's a bit of a funky one. I will say it's quite a strange shape. You'll be able to find it on my gallery under my EA ID, which is Gryphi. It's right here. It's the Gryphi Dino shell because the bottom floor kind of looks like the Dino emote on Twitch. So that's what I named it here, and it has all of the information you would need if you'd like to submit a build for this shell challenge. Take this shell and turn it into anything you want. Just don't move or delete my existing walls. Also, no adding walls to the exterior that are attached, but anything else goes. Half walls, fences, roofs, balconies, etc. Go for it. And submit by December 20th using the hashtag GryphiDinoShell. As you can see, a few people have already submitted their builds, as I did create this over on Twitch first, so make sure you submit your builds by December 20th. I will be doing a stream over on Twitch where I will be looking at builds live, so make sure you join us on December 20th at 6 p.m. Eastern time over on twitch.tv/MissGryphi, where I will be touring your builds, and I will also have a video out within a couple of days after that as well, touring a couple more of them. But with that, let's jump into the speed build of me attempting this build. All right, so the first thing I did was move this building over into the world of Windenburg. I'm actually on the island of Windenburg here, and I decided I was just going to experiment with the roofing and see what happened. So I have a flat roof over the rounded portion, and then I'm just kind of pulling and dragging roofs around and experimenting to see what we come up with. And it ends up having a pretty modern exterior, and I actually really like the roof, but it was a challenge to figure out how to make this work because obviously I wasn't thinking about the roof when I created the shape. I was just clicking and dragging the rooms around and trying to make something that looked very strange, something that I typically wouldn't put together to try and turn into a build, which includes a round room, lots of these random like 1 or 2 tile bump outs, and it was definitely kind of a difficult one to figure out. If you would like to see the full stream of when I created the shell and like the beginnings of me attempting to decorate it, that VOD is over on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/MissGryphi. So feel free to check that out if you are interested. But right here, I'm just trying to figure out the roofing portion. I had this one little square bump out, so I decided to have a diagonal roof coming out, meeting up with this square roof, and I think that works really nicely, and then just painting everything to match. I also really wanted to have big windows on this round portion, and at first I thought I was going to use some of the ones that are actually fully supported on round walls that came with High School Years, but I opted for these instead from the Seasons expansion pack. I just think they were more the style I was going for. I went with more like rustic windows, and then the inside is super modern, and I felt like at first I was falling into a recent trend I found in myself where I really want to make really dark wood homes. Everything is like rustic blacks and browns. And so I was like, you know what? When we got inside and in the living room, I decided I was going to pick a colorful rug and just make it work. And I'm so happy that I did that because I think it really inspired the color scheme for the whole interior of this home, and it has so much color and personality to it. So I think it came out really cute in the end. I really hope you will enjoy the shell, and I really hope you will actually submit a build if you're interested. I would love to look through them. I'm very excited about it. I haven't done a shell challenge in so long. It's been so overdue, and I know I mentioned possibly doing one sometime soon. So I hope you enjoy this one and find it challenging because that was the goal here. I think it was a really cool one to mess around with, and I didn't find placing the stairs to be too difficult, which is interesting because I feel like that's usually the biggest struggle with shell challenges is figuring out how to access the other floors if it is a multiple floor shell challenge. So anyway, Working on some of the landscaping now, trying to grab some rocks and some like grass and stuff that I see around this existing area and place it on our lot. I have a little pathway leading up to the house as well. Obviously, this is in the middle of an island, so it doesn't really lead anywhere, but I still think it looks nice. And I show a decent amount of landscaping, but not all of it. Out back towards the end, you'll see it just kind of disappears or appears, I guess. But here we are trying to figure out where to put the stairs. I'm fiddling with it a little bit, but it did come together pretty easily. I was just trying to figure out the best way to place them to utilize an upstairs floor plan. And there it is. That's where they ended up being, a little corner stair option. And then upstairs there ends up being 2 bedrooms and a bathroom. Downstairs there is a bedroom, 2 bathrooms, a office, and then kitchen, living, dining. So it ends up being a 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom house. So I think that's a pretty good size. I can't remember off the top of my head how much this costs, but if you would like to download this build, it is available on the Sims 4 gallery. You can find it under my EA ID, which is Gryphi, Gryphi. You can also find it under the hashtag #MissGryphi. That information is also down below. And of course, that's also where you can find the challenge if you would like to download the empty shell and try it for yourself. You can also find all of the other people's like submissions. I'm so excited to look through them as time goes on and see what everyone does. So yeah, I would love it if you would participate. If you're interested, I'm thinking I'm going to bring shell challenges back to be a little bit more of a consistent thing because I do miss them. So if you're excited about that, let me know. But anyway, we are working on getting an idea of what the living space is going to look like now and the layout in the kitchen and all of that. Just kind of placing things down, and placing things in the rounded room is so difficult. It like jumps all over the place and it's frustrating. But at this point, I didn't realize that I was going to have an office down here. I thought the living room was just going to be the living room, but I actually combined that with a dining space, and the dining room doesn't actually end up being over here by that big window like I thought it was going to be. I make like a couple of changes here and there as I do start decorating, but I just put down some placeholder furniture to get an idea of where things are going to go. But we are actually working on the kitchen now, and at first I thought it would be nice to have white counters because I've just been really loving brown counters lately, and I was trying to get away from it, but we ended up with brown counters in the end. It's okay. The countertops are white, and I did inject more color into this build than just black, white, and brown, so it worked out okay in the end. I really like how this house came out. I'm incredibly proud of it, especially because, you know, I had no idea what I was doing. I just drew a very random shape, starting with a rounded room, and went from there, and I think the interior came out really cute. So right now I am just trying to do some painting on the walls, and we're going to, I think, do the living room now before I actually finish the kitchen. I just wanted to figure out the layout in there, and then I come back to it. But it takes a little bit of time, and this is at the point where I'm trying to figure out how to inject color into the space. Maybe I change the front door, then I add more beige to the walls. I don't know how I thought that was going to add color, but that is what we're doing there, and I think I should be grabbing a rug here now. Yeah, we're looking for a colorful rug, and at first I'm thinking green, but that's too boring. So we go with this one, orange and blue, which is one of my favorite color combinations. It's so pretty, and it still has some neutral tones in it. We have some browns and beiges in there. So I feel like it just was the perfect fit for this space, and then I scaled it with tulle to make it fit the space just a tad bit better. And I paired it with some more neutral furniture. So we have this couch from the Desert Luxe kit, and then I got a really comfy looking armchair with a pillow on it from Jungle Adventure. I thought that would be perfect because it has such a colorful pillow that brings in those same colors. It's adding yellow into the space, which gives me a third color to work with outside of our neutrals. But the wood tones were perfect. It already had the orange, so I really liked that. I at first was going to put like 2 of them. I tried 2 couches first, but then you'll see me try 2 chairs, one on either side of the fireplace. But I decided that I didn't like that because they're exactly the same with the pillow in the same spot. So it just looked a little odd. So I do get rid of one of those in the end. You'll see that in a little while. But first I am placing our TV up above the fireplace. That's not my favorite placement for TVs, but I think it worked pretty well in this particular home. And then I decided, instead of having the dining room over on the other side, it would look nice to have a round a round table over in the curved section of this room. And I paired it with these chairs from Base Game. They are so pretty in this navy swatch. I just really liked how that looked. It felt like that space was meant to be for the table, so that's what I went with. And then we're just going to get a light up above it as well. I thought about a couple of colorful options. I just thought the orange was too much, so I ended up using just like the creamish color instead. And then we got a hutch over here, as well as one of my favorite plants in the game. It is from Dino, and it's just gorgeous. I need to add it, and I'm struggling to place it because of the rounded room. And then I also got a clock on the wall. I really like that clock. It's nice and modern. I feel like we don't have a lot of like modern clocks or tabletop clocks. We have a couple of tabletop ones. We have the Base Game one that's more traditional. And then we recently in high school years got an alarm clock that looks like, I don't know, like a little dinosaur or something, which I guess is appropriate for this shell challenge. But anyway, I did get rid of that other chair, and I'm trying to figure out what to put over here. So I decided to put a basket of blankets. And I thought that this swatch was just perfect because of the navy blue and the creams. And then I just got a couple of lights on either side of the fireplace, which I thought just nicely anchored the space. And then, of course, getting some more artwork on the wall. I think I go with the ones from Cats and Dogs in the blue swatch, if I'm remembering correctly, because they're a nice modern piece and they match the color scheme in here perfectly. I also really liked using these little vertical pillars in this space, outside and inside, to kind of separate the area. The ones I used, I think, are from City Living. They're just so nice. I feel like that makes the entry area look a little bit more purposeful and pronounced, if that makes sense. And then there is a door heading on into the office space. But we'll be coming back to that later because I do need to work on the kitchen here first. So in here, I wanted to bring in some of that navy blue immediately. So I brought in this beautiful rug from City Living, and then I'm trying to figure out where to put the fridge and the stove. We also have a dishwasher in this space, which is something I often forget to put in my builds. Coffee pot, and I wanted to clutter up the area but not make it too messy. So we have a dish rack over here. I ended up getting some shelving over on the wall where the coffee pot is, and I'm trying to figure out how to bring in like a yellow or an orange as well. But I didn't like the curtains I placed down at first from Parenthood. I ended up going with the Base Game ones instead that we got with an update when toddlers came out, I'm pretty sure. So I will be grabbing those here shortly, but this is that shelving unit I ended up using. It's just got like books and plants in it. I think it is so pretty. It is from Eco Lifestyle, and I just think it adds that little modern touch to this kitchen that I was hoping for. But here I am swapping out those curtains. These ones bring in the yellow and the orange, and I think they look so bright and happy in here. So I was quite happy with that decision. And from there, I think we're just going to get some more decor. I also painted the walls on the opposite sides of the kitchen to be that like more concrete dark brown color. I just thought that it added some nice contrast to this room, and I also wanted to make sure we had utensils and stuff by the stove. So we have like all of the spoons and stuff, as well as a knife block, and I believe I get some spoons hanging up above the stove as well, and some canisters here as well. I love these. They are from Cottage Living, and I just think they are so pretty, and that was a piece of kitchen clutter I felt like we were missing for such a long time. There's so many amazing clutter pieces we've gotten within the last year or so that I'm so happy to finally have. But this room, I didn't want to have a dining space in because I put it right outside of this room, but I also didn't feel like I wanted a full island. So I decided to use this end table instead from Cats and Dogs and put a couple of stools there as like a cute little prep space in the middle of the room with a fruit bowl. I also got some coffee mugs over here by the coffee pot. I think that's just such a nice realistic touch, and a phone and keys, as well as some aprons. I really liked using that 2x1 room that's attached to the kitchen here as sort of a pantry / storage space. So the trash cans in there, there's some extra cabinetry, and I have the aprons and a broom and all of that. I just thought it looked really realistic, and it was a nice way to actually utilize that space that I normally wouldn't have put there if this wasn't a shell challenge. Anyway, moving on into the office space, I just have a small desk here from this is from Snowy Escape. It's just a really small desk. I like it. It's got a it's not as wide as most of the desks in the game, so it fits a little bit better. and I wanted to just keep this space really clean and modern and simple. So I just have a bookcase in here, a corkboard, and there ends up being a seating space over on the other corner as well. I didn't want it to feel too cluttered in here, but I do have a couple of postcards because I love adding those to pretty much every build, and I also painted some of the walls blue just to add a little bit more contrast in this room. And the seating area is going to be over here. I believe I only add one chair. I thought about adding two, but I just get one, and I believe a lamp as well, and this really pretty leaf painting. I think it's a really cute room, and just finishing it off with that fuzzy rug. And then I'm going to be decorating the bathrooms. I think I only show this one. This is the half bath downstairs. And then the other downstairs bathroom is an ensuite for the primary bedroom. And then upstairs, there is one that is shared by the 2 bedrooms upstairs. This one's only a half bath though. So, you know, it only has a toilet and a sink, but the primary bedroom's bathroom, like their ensuite, has a shower. And then the one upstairs has a shower tub combo. So if you have dogs or toddlers or anything like that, you will have a spot for them to bathe, no worries whatsoever. But I did decorate this house to have just all double bedrooms. So, you know, I wasn't imagining there was a family here, or if there was, it was like adult kids that were living here. You could change it to be whatever you would like. This also could be a vacation home, like a rental. That could be kind of fun. But I wasn't really imagining kids in this space for some reason, so I just decorated the rooms to all be double bedrooms. But that's an easy thing to go ahead and change. If you download this house, you can customize the rooms to fit the family you have in mind. That's always a possibility, and I'm totally okay with you doing whatever you want with my builds. Feel free to change them to make them, you know, fit for your families. Anyway, this is the primary bedroom. I think it came out so cute. It's very neutral except for the pop of blue in the bed, which I love. And then also I immediately thought of this painting from Get Famous to put above it. I just think it's gorgeous. This lady in her blue dress, it's just so pretty, and I felt like it really captured the colors I was going for in this build. And I also like the plant I put in the corner of the room as well. I was just really happy with this space. I was a little worried about it at first because it's a really long bedroom, but I think it worked out nicely in the end. And then we're just getting a little dresser over here in the corner, bringing in some more of that blue. I also got a chair over here, I believe. Yeah, this one from the bowling stuff pack in this like creamy yellow color I thought worked nicely. And then just getting some more artwork in a mirror. I tried a couple of different mirrors. I cut out some of it, but I ended up going with one from Vintage Glamour in the end. And then I think I just got a little plant over there, but I don't show the ensuite bathroom. Then we're moving upstairs to the 2 bedrooms up here. And I wanted to bring in some more of those colors we were using. So we have an orange bedroom, and I think the other one ends up being like a greeny blue color. You'll see it when we get to it. But I really liked how this room came out. I think it looks super colorful and like cheerful. I loved the painting I put up above the bed, which is from Dream Home Decorator. And then the bed itself, I believe, is from Seasons. I don't use this orange swatch very often, but I think it looks really pretty, and it fit nicely for this space. This is one of my favorite beds in the game. I just have a few swatches that are my favorites. So this one doesn't get as much love, but I think it worked nicely here. And I had a lot of fun figuring out what to do with all these weird little nooks and spaces. I have like a built-in closet in one of the rooms. Up here we have a bookcase. I have another seating space over here using that same plant that I just love so much. And then we're moving on into the final bedroom. I loved the wall color. As soon as I put this bed down, I was like, I know what wall color I'm using. We have this exact wall color in the game. And then the rug I paired with it, just like the oranges and greens in here are so rich. And I feel like even though they're not the exact same colors I'm using downstairs, they really match the vibe of this house, and like the dark colors mixed with the bright pops that I was going for. I feel like it has the same vibe as the blue and the orange and the blue and the yellow that I have downstairs, but being slightly different colors. So I just got a dresser over here by the window and a nice standing mirror, getting a couple of clutter pieces as well. So we have some lotions and some jewelry as well as a lamp. And oh yeah, I added a side table over here as well in this this living room. This bedroom also has its own TV, so that was a nice touch. The other ones don't, but it kind of fit in this space. And I also ended up changing out this mirror for the same one that I used in the primary bedroom because I just didn't like the one I placed down to begin with. And whenever you have a corner you don't know what to do with, you put a plant. So that's exactly what I did. Anyway, this is the outside balcony that comes off the like public space upstairs when you get to the top of the steps. I just have a couple of couches up there and a telescope. And then we are out in the backyard where I have a barbecue, the trash can, a place to sit down and eat, a couple of planters. Nothing too complicated, just finishing up the landscaping now, and then we will be heading on into screenshots. Thank you so much for watching. This was a lot of fun to do. I had a blast creating the shell and actually attempting it on my own. I really like how it came out. So I really hope you will give it a go if you're interested. If you would like a chance to be toured, make sure you submit it to the gallery using my hashtag by December 20th. And yeah, good luck to everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye, everyone.